What's up, fam? My name's Kiahonfire and welcome back to Conan Exiles. Today, 2.5 has finally been dropped to the official version of Conan. And not only that, server transfers are finally out. And today in this video, I'm going to teach you how to be able to use this feature, as well as update you on all the things coming in 2.5. This will be like a little refresher. We have gone over some things before in previous videos, but if you're new here, of course, I'm going to tell you about everything new. This update goes as follows. There are new animal pens, there are server transfers, there are sheathed weapons on your character's back and sides, there is a ton of balances. Katanas have changed their animations, as well as great axes and claw weapons, and the punch daggers, which are essentially claw weapons, but you know. They have also changed the way that bleed works, so we'll be going over that as well. There are some tweaks there, which has nerfed it quite a bit. But before I start this video, I have to tell you about PingPerfect. PingPerfect is a server host company where you can host your favorite games. This is actually a service I use to host my Conan servers, so it's really nice. They do lots and lots of different locations. They have loads of different games to choose from that you could set your server up with as well, which is really nice. But one of my favorite features they actually offer on this one is the 48-hour trial. That I really do like. So if you're not sure about hosting with these guys, or how you want your server, if it's right for you, then you could go ahead and request a free 48-hour trial, which is really lovely that you can go ahead and do that. They have a lot of different options. The pricing's pretty fair from what I've seen, and I do like how you can just go up into this menu and you can set it up how you like. You can choose the slots you want and whatever else in here. Lots of customization. It will vary depending on which game you choose, because different games do different things, but I think it's a really decent service. The price seems pretty fair, and I do absolutely recommend it. And if this interests you, make sure you go into the description down below and you can go ahead and check this out. You can also use my discount code for 10% off of any game server of your desires. And that code is Kiahonfire on checkout, so make sure you use it. And thank you very much to PingPerfect. So today's patch is an absolute Goliathan of a patch. It's absolutely massive. We have gone through some of this information in the past with our test live videos, but I aim to just kind of point out the most important bits of this patch today with you guys. I'm definitely really excited about the server transfers, because this is going to be on official servers. It is right now. You can transfer between the two, and I will explain those. So pretty much how this works is you can transfer to the same kind of server or the tier below it. And how the tiers kind of work is you have PvP, PvEC, and then you have PvE at the bottom. So if you were on a PvE server, you cannot transfer your character to a PvP or a PvEC, but you may transfer it to another PvE server. And then it kind of works vice versa, kind of like that. However, if you're on a PvP server, you could transfer to any of the other kinds of server. But once you've transferred to like PvE, say, you cannot go back to PvP. That means you can't like go ahead and grind lots of things really safely in PvE and then just bring all of that to PvP. So that's a really good thing. That's actually a thing. If you're a server host and you want to get this together, well, you'll now have some options to do that in your actual host menu, like I do. And then what you pretty much do, if you want to transfer between the two servers, you need the IP copied in the other server's box, and vice versa. So it's pretty straightforward. You'll need to mirror it on both servers, so both servers will need each other's IP to connect together, and that's how that works. Unfortunately though, I do have some bad news regarding the server transfers. If you're a person that likes mods, well, mods are currently not supported via this. Next, we're going into the balance updates, and this is going over a bunch of weapons that have been buffed, so or changed or tweaked slightly. The two-handed hammers have been buffed. They have better penetration now, reduced stamina on heavy attacks, better combo. Pikes have a balanced pass as well, reduced stamina cost on both light and heavy attacks. And then we have the two-handed swords have also received a balanced pass. So that's nice. They also have the great axes, which has had a major overhaul, so this has changed completely really, and I'm just going to show you what that kind of looks like now. You'll be able to block incoming attacks. Some of the old great axes will keep their old moveset, but you'll have the new ones that will be able to use all the new stuff, and I'll be honest, I like it much better than the old versions, that's for sure. Katanas has also received an overhaul, so you got completely new animations for that one as well. They're really nice. It's a lot easier to hit things now as well. They have a new heavy attack, a new light attack, a lot easier to do crowd control with this one now. They've also revamped the punching daggers or claw weapons. Same thing. They have a different way of going about it now, and you have a lot of variations that you could use earlier on in the game now as well. You're not just stuck behind legendary versions of these. They're actually their own weapon type now, which is absolutely lovely. And they have like a special attack and a bunch of other things. The special attack actually cannot be blocked at all, apparently, so that's pretty cool. This leads me into my next point about healing potions and bandages. So the crafting times for the potions have been reduced to 10 seconds now. They used to take a very long time, so it's nice that they're reducing them a bit. And crafting time for all other potions have been reduced to 20 seconds. Basic wraps crafting time reduced to 5 seconds, and crafting time for all other wraps have reduced to 10 seconds. However, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. This leads me to my next point about bleed effects being heavily nerfed. Healing potions no longer remove bleed effects. Potion healing buff is now removed when non-bleed damage is received. Bleed effects applied by special weapons will no longer stack with bleed effects from combos and will no longer stack up to multiple times. They have also reduced the base duration of bleed effects to 8 seconds, down from 20 seconds. This should allow bleed effects to be shed easily in PvP, while still allowing for the same damage potential in PvE, as long as the effect is maintained. So basically what they're telling you here is you're going to have to keep that buff up with the bleed, otherwise they're going to lose their stacks a lot quicker than before. It's not even half as quick. They've done it to 8 seconds from 20, so that's quite the steep slope for that one. And that kind of makes me sad because those of you who know that I really like the annoying shard, and I know it's pretty annoying because it does that 40 bleed stacks, but essentially that won't really be a thing anymore. So a lot of the things with the bleed weapons is would you want to use them anymore, or would you want to use the poison weapons on Sipta now, or ones that permanently have poison? Who knows what might be better now, but the bleed being gone is definitely a little bit of a deterrent. Well, not fully gone, but definitely nerfed quite heavily. Something exciting they added was the smaller animal pen, so this is really nice. It's a lot smaller than the other one. It only takes up to 1 creature at a time in it, but it's a lot, it's a less space consuming anyway, I suppose. Easier to place in smaller base locations, but won't take the capacity of the other one. Still pretty big, not gonna lie. But I understand why that is, because they have to fit like elephants and rhinos in this thing as well. But it is, well, it's much nicer than just having to use the big one. Some things I do like that you've probably noticed already in here is that they've tried to implement some modded kind of things in here. Things from mods that people kind of enjoy and have suggested over the years, they have plopped into the game. Now, it is very primitive in comparison to what other mods had, but it's a really good start, and I do like the values. This is going to be definitely very good for console. But pretty much if you go into your gameplay options now, you can turn all of these on and off if you wanted to. So if you didn't want it to ruin your like RP experience or PvP experience, well, you could go ahead and turn it off. So you could pretty much just tick these things, adjust the range. You could turn off and on health bar values, on your thralls, on different creatures, and you can have weapon sheaths shown as well. So you can show it for all players, or don't show, or only show for me. You could do all of that if you really wanted to. As you can see the axe on my back. This is not a mod right now. This is the official game that is doing that for me. Unfortunately though, the claw weapons don't seem to do the same, which is a little odd. But you can get other weapons that will sit on your sides and stuff like that, and looks pretty awesome. I like being able to see my weapons. I really like that. And as you can see on my thrall over there, the Delincia, you can see her health value from quite a whiles away. I had it bug out in the test live version where it wasn't always showing in combat. Hopefully they've repaired that, but it's nice to be able to see your thrall's HP to know if they're dying or not, instead of having to struggle into their inventory and see if they are dying, you know. And you could also see this with like those hyenas up there. From this far away, I can see their HP already. Now there's a few issues I can think of with this kind of thing. I feel like when it comes to other creatures, you should attack them to see their HP first, or maybe do the auto targeting to be able to see the HP, or something else, because I can imagine in PvP situations being able to see the player's health is going to be a big giveaway if you're trying to sneak around and this big red bar just pops up on your screen. You're going to be able to see their whatever creature they have with them and them. And it's going to be pretty interesting, I suppose. But I could see that as being a problem. Apart from that, I do like it though. I definitely love the numbers in the top left hand corner, because I always like seeing the values of my stamina and my health. I like that to be correctly shown and know what I'm at, so I do like how that's an addition. Very appreciated. And I do like the health bars as well in a PvE aspect, being able to see the creatures. I just think it could have been implemented a little bit differently on how it is, but I do like it. It's a nice change. They've also optimized a hell of a lot in here with memory and the admin panel being less resource intensive. They've even optimized the blood system to be less resource intensive, so that's lovely. One thing I really noticed when I started playing today was the graphical settings, and this is only for PC I believe, but before it was really weird when I first logged in because they have cinematic options now, and well, you could choose it to be cinematic or not. But the first thing I noticed was with Ultra, the grass circle where you see the cutoff for where the grass is, it cuts off a lot sooner, so you just get this big plaque of green. When you're used to just seeing lots of grass, you just get this big plaque of green, and the cut-off point of the grass seems to be very close. If you want to fix that, you just change your view distance to cinematic. I don't know how taxing that is, but if you want your grass to look like normal, then you change it back to cinematic and that will fix it for you. Server restarts should no longer destroy previously stable building pieces. They also added a new weapon archetype, which is dual axes, where you have Havoc and Malice and Welling Blades are now labelled as dual axes, so you have that as a thing now. They brought the religion of Zaf to Sipta, so you can now get the religious teaching item from the surges from T3 priests and T4. They added some modifications to the placement of fish traps and crab traps, which make them easier to place on water, which is very much appreciated. Although I must say, I never really use fish traps anymore since they added the oil to the bench and, well, made those changes with the fish traps. Let me know in the comments down below if you still use fish traps for, like, oil and stuff like that. They also fixed an issue where damage would be applied twice when hitting a player in water, which is pretty crazy. And they have an issue where they fixed that healing items would not apply correctly on female characters under specific circumstances. Baboons now yield XP when killed. Armor modification kits now require armor to be 100% durability before they can be applied. And then they'll put in that fix with the baby animals that will now cry for help, and the animals around it will get angry at you from nearby, from the relatives. So if you take the baby away from the mummy Sabertooth, the Sabertooth will come after you. I thought they put this in a while ago, but apparently they did not. They also, for consoles, enabled the FOV slider, which is really nice. I love a field of view. I don't like looking at my character's butt all the time, so I always increase it to maximum, because I like to be able to see around me. So this is a nice addition. They also, with building pieces, added a arrow to the outer side. As you can see, a tiny little arrow down there to point which way it is when you can't really see sometimes. It's kind of hard to see when you're in the bright desert. So that arrow should help you know which direction the wall is now. A really nice thing for admins is now, instead of doing that weird key combination, you can now do the no building costs on here, and you can go ahead and be in creative mode as such. Purges no longer spawn in the southern region of the noob area. So if you wanted to make a purge-proof base, then you would build in the noob river area, or I mean, use other tactics online. But if you wanted a guarantee, then that's a great way to do it. Trebuchets can no longer be built and operated from inside a roofed structure, so you can no longer do that and have that kind of protection. And just a bunch of bug fixes really. Apart from that, lots of different changes. Do make sure you read through them yourself if you're interested. In the description down below, I'll be linking it in there. But it's a pretty interesting patch. It's going to be interesting to see how the new weapons play. I'm probably most excited for that in reality, because I do like the new animations and such, especially with the katana and the claw weapons. Claw weapon change is probably one of my favorite. I've grown on the katana a lot since I last did a video, and I definitely do like these now. Favorite's probably doing the spinny winny like that. You can just go ahead and spin to win on people. Pretty cool move. And the great axe I'm looking forward to. I want to see how it plays in gameplay. See how I like that. It's very fast now. I definitely like that part. And then, of course, you do the block. So you don't have to use a shield. You can go ahead and block. And then, of course, you have that now as well. So I'm looking forward to give this a try and see how they will go into my gameplay, if they do at all. The buffs are pretty nice. The bleed nerfs is not my favourite, but hey ho, nerfs are nobody's favourite most of the time. So yeah, there's that. We'll get over it. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. But apart from that, that's all I have to show you in this video today. Thanks for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.